Alright, and while we are waiting for our masking fluid to dry, let me make sure this is good. Our masking fluid to dry here, I'm also going to show you how watercolors can be opaque and transparent and how you can layer that. First we're going to start with putting down some crimson red. I went in and got my tubes out. Now I have 2 cups of water here. I have the dirty cup and the clean cup. What you do is you clean your brush off in the dirty, and then you dip it in the clean to begin to work with your watercolors. I'm going to put some water, different amounts of water, and then the same amount of color in each. And that way it'll give me different shades of the red. And this is how you do it with using this guy. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of this crimson. I got some crimson right here. A little bit of this crimson. We're going to make our watercolor. See that? Okay, see that's really light pink. If I put that down here, that's almost no pink at all. That's very light. You can barely see it. If I take a little bit more red, put it in this other well with some water in it, I think I'm going to have a little bit more water. All right. Now we've got and this, I'm doing a dry on dry, by the way. Actually the brush is wet, the paper is dry, so it's fairly, let's look at that. A little bit darker red, right? So we've got a really light red, a medium red. Now I can get it very dark over here in this other well. And I keep these two here, over here, without messing with them, so I know that this is that color, this is that color, and then my next color will be the third well color. And I will paint my stripe until I get it as dark as I want it. I think I'm going to add a little bit more color to my well over here. There, so now it's really got light, medium, dark red. Okay, and you can tell I have much more pigment down here. Okay, see? They have the lightest of pinks. It's just a hue, really, really light, medium, and then dark. And you can do 5 grades or 6 grades of shade, but this is how you do it with the tube. Now, if you were using this, you would have to, inside the cover here, you would have different pulls. But when you're doing different shades like this, it's easier for me to use the wells here and the tubes. And that way I know that this is light, this is medium, this is dark per that. So I'm going to let this dry, and I'm going to show you. Now this red or crimson is what's on the tube. Crimson is transparent. You can see the white of the paper through it, and it's very vibrant. I'm going to put a yellow over it later on when this completely dries. I don't want the cauliflower effect that I got up here on my wet on wet to happen down here. I want to be able to move some yellow through my pink, red, and red and see what happens to this yellow, okay, as it moves through there. This is called layering, and in watercolor there is a layering technique that adds so much more depth to your watercolor. So we're going to be practicing that with our project as well. I will be back after this dries to do the same effect with this color in my wells, painting over these 3 in layer effect. I noted that these were transparent. Some colors, like burnt umber or even black, is more opaque. So they don't layer, you can't capture colors that are layered over top of them very well because they're already opaque. They've covered up most of the white. Okay, in fact, I think I might show that to you. I'm going to rinse my brush off in my dirty water. Oh, it's not going to open. Oh, come on, open. There we go. All right, so I'm going to, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? A little bit of pressure there, I guess. Put some black in my well there. Woo, okay. You can get it with black, you can get it to be from transparent a light gray. See, I've got my black in my well right there. I'm going to put some clean water in my wells. Clean water in my wells. And what I'll do is I'll make a dark, I got 2 wells with water. I'll make a light gray. See, it's so hard with black. That's going to be my dark color because it didn't take anything at all. And what I might do is just use some of this darker color here and just throw some in here to make it into a gray. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so get more of this because it has a lot. This straight pigment is just so dark. So here's the gray. See how light that is? And that's transparent. Right? You can see the paper right through it. It's a light gray. Right? Let's do the dark. I'm going to put a little bit more. This is my dark black. Oh, that looks pretty transparent too, doesn't it? I don't know that I have any opaque colors in this beginner's watercolor. There are some watercolors that do act opaquish, but I'm thinking all of these, the beginners, they're transparent, I think. So anyway, these are different shades of black. Now I know that this one's my dark black and this is my gray. Gray, black. And in fact, I can make it even darker. I could probably make it fairly opaque if I really wanted to. See, it's a lot darker now. Get a little more pigment in there. Now, see, that's, you can't see any paper, that's opaque. So I'm going to go ahead and treat it like it's, you know, try to get the opaqueness of it. There are times when you want pitch black on your painting. All right, I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to pull the yellow through all of that and see what happens. So brush goes in dirty water to rinse off. Rinse off, come out, and I'll catch you when this is dry and this is dry, and we'll work some more with it.